Phil, would you like to fill us in on today's topic?
After much discussion, we managed to settle down on the topic of puzzle games and brain teasers. These guys wanted to. What did you want to do specifically? Something that I'd never even played before or heard
Point
of
and click
before?
was Antoine's suggestion, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
there we
point and
go.
clicks.
And that scared me because I didn't really know what these guys were talking about.
On the topic of brain teasers, I'm gonna go with a classic, which is Professor Layton. In particular, with 1 and 2, which were the Curious Village and the Diabolical Box. And don't ask me to repeat this one again because it's super hard to say in English. I don't know why. And it's very, when I say classic, it's because it was released on DS in 2007, Japan, and 2008 for the PAL region, so Europe, and for me, PAL, yay. That's quite old, but that was really cool. There has been a total of 8 games, I believe. So the original 3, which were actually re-released in HD in 2020. And I actually found while writing the script that I can actually have it in Android and iPhone. So I'm gonna very likely buy one. I believe that the first 2 are like $13, and maybe the third one, the only one I didn't do, is $21 on iPhone. It's I guess it's fine because it's not the kind of game which is super, like, doesn't super big graphics and stuff. It's really like brain teasing. So you can play it on every screen. I hate playing on mobiles. That's why I'm saying that this kind of game, it's fine. It's fine. It's just, like, brain teasing. So I'm okay with it. This Professor Layton one has been hugely popular. It's a little game on DS, a puzzle solving game. This stuff has an anime series, an anime movie, a novel. I'm forgetting stuff. Anyway, it's been adapted everywhere. It is even have a crossover with Ace Attorney, like the lawyer game.
Yeah,
So
Phoenix Wright, right?
Phoenix Wright, absolutely. So this series has been hugely successful, and it's actually quite simple in its principle. You have a little story, and like, mainly I remember the first game, but in the first game you have this village with the villagers liking brain teasers for a good reason, because there was a rich old guy who left a treasure in the village, and you are here investigating with Professor Layton and his apprentice Luke. And you have to answer some riddles to pursue your adventure. If the puzzle is too hard for you, you can have some hint with hint coins, but these ones are limited, so you really need to look around the village for weird objects or something like this to pick them up and collect them. You can restart puzzles as many times as you want. Just if you succeed in the first try, you get some in-game currency. Honestly, I can't recall exactly what it does, but there are many games. There are even mini games in it, like when you solve some puzzles, they give you some objects which allows you to decorate Professor Layton's room, or it's gonna allow you to, if you collect some gizmos, you can have a robot dog which gonna help you sniff out, the coins, the hint coins or things like this. And if you do every mini games, it gives you some bonus for some extra puzzles. And I think also, if you connect to the Nintendo Wi-Fi online, you also have an extra 10 or 15 or 20 puzzles or something like this. So if you like to, rack your brain, you are served with this series. Not only there's 8 games, each games have more than 100 or 130 puzzles. It's massive, and it's really fun. And I recall the stories were really cool as well. So I don't know, do any of you, did you play this? Or did you have a DS at the time, actually?
I've
Because
never
we
had a
know,
DS, so
because we
yeah.
know Nintendo don't do cross-platform. So
Yeah, I've never had a DS, so I've never had the opportunity to play a Professor Layton game. But so how do the puzzles work? I mean, is this like a Carmen Sandiego type thing where you're going through finding clues, or is it more like individual puzzles? Or
It's individual puzzles. Each puzzles is could be mat game, like this. You have two shores, and you have to take the boat from one side to the others, and how many people can go, blah blah blah. Or you have this, or you have to, like the game with the 8 mistake in a picture. You have to put around because it was on DS, so you have the stillet, and so it was very interactive. So plenty of different type of puzzles.
So
For
wait,
count, yeah.
the storyline and the puzzles are separate then? Like how do they
You can't
integrate together?
you can't progress the storyline without doing the puzzles.
You can
Like,
do random puzzles, any puzzles in any order, or specific to as you progress.
well, you're gonna be blocked if you don't do some puzzles. So it's a village. You can go and see in the first one, of course. You can go and see any NPCs, which happens to be robots actually, to ask for their puzzles, and they will unlock a new part of the village for you each time, and that's how you progress. But you can, if you don't like one puzzle, you can go to solve another one and come back to this one later.
Okay, so when you get into the game, you like say there's 600 puzzles or whatever. There's
You
all
don't have
600
to.
puzzles available, and you can kind of like pick which ones you go to, and you complete a certain amount, and then your storyline progresses. Is that how it works?
Not that I recall. It has been a long time since I haven't played it, but from what I recall, there's more like optional quests and mandatory ones. Like there is some that you need to solve with a specific character to continue the story, and some which are completely optional and they are just here for the mini games. For the
And do you play it
100%
just
completion.
because you can change to one of the 70 different outfit styles? Is that what you play for? The glam options?
Outfit?
the waifu
Oh,
feature.
Yeah, that must have been in the later game. There wasn't such a feature in the DS one. Like the one you have on screen, for instance, it's
That's the newest
how it
one,
go.
yeah.
Because how it goes that number 1, 2, 3 is Professor Layton and his assistant. The 3 games after that is actually a prequel, so still the 2 guys but much younger. And after that, it's actually the kids, and this girl, I don't recall this girl, but
It's
but
his daughter. I spent like all
yeah,
last
right.
night
So
listening to like a girl go 2 hours on the history of Professor Layton.
very courageous. So, but you don't need a Nintendo for that. It's very rare. It's really rare enough to say it. Even I was surprised when I see, I can check, and she's not in Siri. Come on, she's always here. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, come on, a Nintendo game which is not a Nintendo. Wow, I must jump on it. But since it's quite well designed for actually mobile game, why not?
Why not?
And in terms of success, like if you follow Metacritic scores, nearly all of them are over 80%. I think just 1 or 2 are under this bar, and they are still at 75 or 78. So they're all good games. You can't really go wrong with it.
So, would you say that like what is the age level that we're looking at for these kinds of games? I mean, looking at the art style, it looks like it could be for a pretty young
Kids.
audience. Would you say that this is something that is, say, good for elementary school kids, even like maybe like third graders or so, or would you say this is actually the puzzles themselves are probably a little bit more difficult, that maybe you should like more of a teenager adult
I'd
kind of
let
thing?
my eldest play it. He's 9 years old, and I would let him play. I'm pretty sure he would be fine with it.
Okay,
Of
so that they
course,
wouldn't be like too
there's
difficult for him.
now, and of course there are some puzzles which are more complicated, but again, they are not all compulsory. If he follows the main quest, the main line, pretty sure he would be able to solve it.
And looking at all the different trailers, I have a different trailer up now. You guys can't see it, unfortunately, but I just popped up the one for the game specifically Antoine was referencing. So it seems like there's quite a bit of video in there. What would you say is the, like, say, game to anime ratio here, in terms of like, are you mostly watching it, or are you mostly playing and they just throw the video
So
sequences up on the trailers.
So the one you're showing, maybe one of the latest. The trailer I'm seeing on the Switch right now was one of the latest. So I have honestly no clue. There was no anime part on the first two. On the DS, it was just like very much like Ace Attorney. Like just a guy with some lines, and you just pass. And it was like I don't know, like 70% story to 30% game. Blah 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 puzzle, blah 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 puzzle. That's it. But there was no cinematics per se, really. Like just an introduction, maybe a couple of scenes, but that's it.
Okay. Because, yeah, even looking through a lot of the, like, when I was looking for trailers and stuff, most of it seemed to be just video. But I know that there's an anime that goes along with it. And so I wasn't
Yes,
sure how
animes,
much.
movies.
Yeah,
Lots
and
of
it seems like a lot of
level.
the movies in the anime rehash some of the same territory as the games.
Possibly, but I haven't played all 8 of them, and the 2 I played, honestly, the story is long gone from my mind.
Oh, okay. Have you seen the show or the movies or?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't. Honestly, most of it I realized just by like writing the script. Oh, there was a movie? Didn't even knew.
Yeah. So, because I was looking at, like I said, I was looking at it last night, and they were saying that sometimes there are things in the movie that aren't in the game. Like maybe they explain things a little bit better for certain things because maybe in the game they realized
Maybe.
that, oh, maybe we should have explained this a little bit better. Like this character should have had a little bit more backstory. So when they did the anime, maybe they added a few scenes. But at the same time, a game is clearly going to be longer, and therefore some things had to be cut. So it's kind of if you watch one or the other, you'll get a full story. But if you want the full story, it's kind of better to do both, from what I've heard.
Yeah, 8 game. That's quite a lot of story.
And for Phil, these are all in the same universe in a chronological order, so you don't have to worry about all that time skipping and alternate realities. So
Yeah, that's a very simple one.
yeah. Apparently, there's the whole thing with
So
his daughters
yeah,
and him getting older and stuff like that. Yeah.
on that point, so I would recommend for everyone really to play it. It's very nice, like before you go to sleep, a couple of brain teasers. That's nice. For kids, that thinks it's very interesting. Maybe I'm gonna put my kids to it, so they can actually have a reason to go on the tablet and play. I know that at least it's educational.
How long would you say these games typically are?
Whoa, that wasn't that long. I've no clue. I can't remember. Yeah, I remember it wasn't that long. Depending if you're a completionist or not, of course, as usual. But
Oh, okay.
like this, I'd say 10-15 hours. Like, I might say something completely wrong, but come on, 2008. That's ages ago.
All right, Phil. Any other comments, or you want to start getting into your stuff?
Nothing really to add. Not really much to add.
So are you guys gonna buy it on Android or something, or
Nope.
take a look?
I don't know if it's on Android. Like I said, when I was watching reviews last night, they said it was on iOS, and they said themselves they weren't sure if it was on Android. Is it on Android?
From what I read, yes.
Okay, I would assume so. Most things are available on both. Maybe I think what I would do is, for me personally, I'd probably want to watch the show first and see if I can get invested in the world and the characters, and then once I get invested in the world and the characters, then maybe I'd pick up a game. Because point and click, like when I was younger, I used to like it, but we didn't have too many other options. But now I've kind of moved away from it. I still enjoy them sometimes, but with all the backlog and everything.
Yeah, but don't tell me you wouldn't redo maybe a Little Monkey Island 3.
Oh yeah. No, I wouldn't mind something like that. Yeah, I would check it out maybe on mobile, because that's the kind of thing you can do. Like, say, if you have a 10-minute break, you can just pop something.
Yeah,
out.
on commute or stuff like this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'd definitely take a look at it. See which ones they have.
It's definitely the game. The missus would prefer it more than I would. So I don't know. I'd have to ask her. She might already have played it though, because she's a big Nintendo fan. She did have DS and all the stuff all the way back to all the different versions of the Game Boys and everything. So
she knows. I'm sure of it.
All right, then I guess we're moving on for Phil. So Phil, how would you like to introduce your game?